Tome points in excess of the rollover cap will be automatically converted to gold. Hey everyone, it's Spopes. Zoss has come out with a new article covering the changes they're making to the Tamriel Tomes system based on feedback. I honestly have mixed feelings about the changes that were announced. Since Tamriel Tomes was launched in the Elder Scrolls Online on April 2nd, there have been some systemic issues with it that I'm not sure these changes actually fully address. In this video, I'm going to go through the announced changes and provide my reaction. Before we dive in, please make sure you've subscribed to the channel. Please like and hype this video, and consider supporting me by becoming a member of the Spopes Army, picking up some merch, or leaving a donation. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's see what the devs are doing to fix Tamriel Tomes, and whether it's enough to actually fix the system. One of the first things they say is that this is just the initial round of changes. They're going to wait for the system to percolate through ESO a little bit longer before they do more changes. But the questions they considered when making these changes include, is there enough variety for the weekly challenges? Are certain challenges so unpopular they're always re-rolled? And does the pace of earning tome points feel rewarding enough? So right off the bat, they get into what I believe is the biggest issue with Tamriel Tomes, which is that only 2,000 of your tome points roll over at the end of the season. They admit they should have communicated all this better, which I do appreciate, but what I don't appreciate as much is what they're actually changing. First of all, the rollover cap is not actually changing. Despite all the feedback, there's still a maximum of 2,000 tome points that roll over at the end of the season that you can use for the next Tamriel Tome. In justifying this, they spew a bunch of word salad, like they're trying to support flexibility, which doesn't seem to have anything to do with this cap. So flexibility in how you progress, the pacing of progressing the tome, and how you unlock rewards. I mean, literally none of that has anything to do with the cap of tome points that can roll over. This reminds me of Brian Wheeler's famous word salad in the AMA at the end of last year, just kind of diverting attention from the issue. Like, seriously, what does this have to do with anything? The decisions we made to support this flexibility open up many paths for you to accrue a considerable number of tome points that far exceed the number needed. Like, yes, but we should be able to keep those tome points then, right? Then they continue to justify their reasoning, and this actually kind of makes sense. We discussed other ways to strike a balance between wide paths of progression and encouraging future season play, such as implementing a hard cap on tome points, but they felt that'd be worse, which I agree with. They just removed that with event tickets, which are now trade bars, and they thought that having a hard cap would reduce the fun of picking out rewards. So then they say they've seen our sentiment and feedback, they agree they can make it better, and this is where things get interesting and where I'm really not sure how I feel. We're planning to make a change to this in Update 50 before Season 0 ends, where tome points in excess of the rollover cap are automatically converted to gold after the reward autoclaimer is complete. And yes, they are adding an autoclaimer, we'll get to that in a moment. We believe this helps provide value to excess tome points. They're still working on determining the ratio of tome points to gold. So I guess the way I feel about it is it's better than nothing. Hopefully it'll be like 100 golds every tome point, or even just like 10, because then I'll still get 100k gold or so. It'd be cool if I got 1,000,000, but I feel like that'd be a bit of a high ratio. But I have to say, this does not really address the concern of the community, where we don't really want more gold. I mean, I guess I kind of do, but I have plenty of gold already. What we want is for the tome points that we unlock through our tome caches or through the challenges to carry over to the next season. But they've straight up admitted they're not willing to do that. Their reasoning to me doesn't really make any sense. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with flexibility. It would just make it a lot better at the beginning of the next season if we had all the tome points that we had before, or at least more than 2,000. But again, this is better than nothing, by which they'd be a little bit less shisty with their reasoning here, tone down the word salad a little bit, and just be upfront saying, we don't want to give you all your tome points to carry over. Sorry. But they just put a bunch of confusing verbiage in there to try to justify it that doesn't really justify it at all. So I am happy the excess tome points aren't just disappearing, but I'm confused as to their reasoning here, why we can't have them just carry over, why they're converting them to gold instead. B- work here, Zoss. You could have done better with this, both in the choice you made and the explanation you gave of that choice. So next we have a new feature being added into Tamriel Tomes, the autoclaimer. At the end of the season, if you have excess tome points, any rewards you haven't gotten yet will automatically be claimed. The goal is to minimize rewards you miss out on, especially if you only have the free version. If you forget to redeem rewards before the season ends, for example, autoclaim will kick in, and it prioritizes the high value rewards. Rather than just spending your tome points linearly, it'll pass over things like consumables to try to get the cosmetics first. So the autoclaimer will obtain rewards on the outgoing Tamriel tome using any tome points that go over the 2,000 point rollover cap. The autoclaimer obtains rewards in the outgoing tome using any tome points you have left over that go beyond the 2,000 point cap for what you can carry over to the next season. It claims rewards starting with the base pages, the ones numbered 1 through 10, not the bonus ones, and it goes from the highest page number down. After that, it claims any rewards in the bonus pages. If you've bought the premium tome, it prioritizes premium rewards, and then it goes to the free side. The autoclaimer will simply skip over consumables like poisons, supply packs, and upgrade kits. It also skips bundles for some reason. I can't figure out why that would be the case, but it does. So then after the autoclaimer completes, if you still have more than 2,000 tome points above the carryover cap, those remaining tome points will be converted to gold. So this is pretty similar to the way the Battle Pass works in Fortnite, for instance. If you have anything left unclaimed at the end of a Fortnite season, it just claims it for you automatically. I don't really have a problem with this. I'm just a little bit confused why it skips over bundles. I get not grabbing the consumables, but why can't it just get the bundles of furnishings for you? No real explanation given there. Then when the new season starts, it'll tell you the rewards that were auto-claimed. This will be on PTS, and despite the fact that some people have said they like to opt out of the autoclaimer, they're not going to do that. We don't have any updates to share on that front, aka deal with it. It's just going to auto-claim whether you want it to or not. That's kind of lame. And of course, if you did get the premium tome, you can come back and unlock additional rewards whenever you want. But the tome points you might have used to get that stuff are going to be converted into gold. Kind of weird. Then they clarify how the challenges are going to work if you have multiple premium tomes, meaning like if you got the season 0 tome, but then you also get the season 1 tome. Basically, they're just saying you can use your tome points with any tome. They aren't tied to a specific tome. So if you get the premium tome for all 3 seasons this year, and then you get 1,000 tome points, those tome points progress the page unlocks for all 3 tomes. And then you can use the tome points however you want. Okay, that makes sense. I appreciate the clarification. Pretty simple issue, but it's good to know what they're planning to do there. Now, here's what I think will be interesting for a lot of people who've been watching my videos recently. I'm just going to read this basically verbatim. We've seen the sentiment widely that the information on the rollover cap and autoclaimer was not clear at the beginning of the season, and that you may have decided to use any owned caches of tome points differently if this was clearer. We acknowledge this and plan to open the ability for you to request from customer service a one-time exchange of unspent tome points back into caches of tome points, beginning on April 2nd, which is now quite in the past, and ending on April 30th. All right, so I know from the comments that some of you have already successfully done this, but this is the first official addressing of this issue that I've seen. I will definitely be taking advantage of this because I still have like 12,000 tome points that I really don't need. I'll definitely be asking customer service to convert those back into tome caches. And for anybody else who opened way too many, you're going to have way more than the rollover cap. I suggest you do this as well. I'm very pleased with ZOS for addressing this. This is a major issue. It felt really scummy, like they were actually legitimately trying to trick us here. But even if they were, they have now backtracked. They're going to make it right. All you have to do is contact customer service. For more information on the right way to do that, check out my latest video on Tamriel Tomes. But yeah, this is a good step. I appreciate ZOS doing this. Moving on. You can request to have available tome points removed from your accounts in increments of 2,000 to be replaced with caches of tome points, up to a maximum of the caches you originally had on April 2nd. And here's what's essential. I haven't actually seen this overtly confirmed before this point. Caches of tome points don't expire and can be carried over freely from season to season. Thank the Lord I was right about that. So this is a way out for anybody who, simply because ZOS didn't explain this clearly, redeemed all their tome caches at once, and they want to have additional caches of tome points to use in season 1 in July. Then they go on to address some of the known bugs. These 3 weekly challenges I've heard from various people are simply not working at all. They recently removed them from the pool of challenges you can roll, but they'll be coming back later in April once they're fixed. So these include defeating the Serpent of Sanctum Ophidia, defeating the Symphony of Blades, the Lava Queen, or Molagkina, those are dungeon bosses, or capturing an Imperial City district. Apparently they are fixing these, they'll be back later in April. They're also addressing issues with the daily login seasonal challenge, though this last sentence is totally confusing. As a reminder, you do not need to log in 99 times to claim this, and instead claim once per login, but there are 99 of them, and you have to log in each time to get each one. What does that even mean? Wait a minute. Okay, then they're saying some challenges have been counting inconsistently. They're going to make sure they properly credit your progress like making sure foes in the Gold Coast, Hughesbane, and Rothgar counts no matter where they are inside the zone. They're going to fix this in the next incremental patch. Then they're also going to improve challenges overall with Update 50. Okay, and I know a lot of you have been having trouble buying the premium tome through Steam. They're addressing this here. The wording is kind of confusing, but let's take our best crack at it. Messaging will be clear if the Steam overlay needed to complete the purchase of a premium tome is disabled. So I guess people in Steam needed an overlay to get the premium tome, and it will tell you if it's disabled when you buy it. I don't really use Steam, so I don't know what exactly this means, but I know this is causing issues for lots of people, and I'm glad they're at least addressing it. And oh dear, some localization of certain challenges was inaccurate, so I guess people had to read English, the world's universal language. You're welcome for the free English lesson, but apparently they're fixing it. Vive la France, etc. Okay, now we're going to hear more about improvements that are coming to Tamriel Tomes in Update 50. So apparently in some localized, meaning non-English in-game help articles, it was said that you can re-roll weekly challenges either using gold or with gold. What do they mean here? Apparently this didn't make it into the launch of the system, but it's coming in U50. So we already know you do get 5 weekly challenge rerolls every week, but apparently now in U50, you'll be able to get additional rerolls by spending gold. And it's actually pretty cheap. They start at 500 gold for the first one, and it goes up to a maximum of 10k. And it goes back to 500 gold every week with the weekly rollover on Tuesday. Okay, that's good. There's no limit to how many times you can re-roll the weekly challenges. You just have to shell out a little bit of gold to do it. Maybe you can use some of the gold from your excess tome points. Ha ha. They're trying to make it easier for you to progress your tome, yada yada yada, etc. It looks like they're also making the weekly challenges more repeatable. Let's see what they have to say here. After you've unlocked the bonus pages of the current season's Tamriel Tome, the next weekly reset grants you something new. You can complete all your weekly challenges twice as many times. Okay, so once you have all the pages unlocked, you can do the weekly challenges more frequently, but why would you want to if you have all the pages unlocked? I'm not getting this so far, but let's keep going. So if you unlock the bonus pages and receive the complete one group dungeon weekly challenge in your next weekly reset, you can complete up to 6 times instead of 3. This remains for the duration of the season in which you've gotten to the bonus pages. Okay, now they're talking about their goal. What is their goal here? Provide additional room in how you want to finish your Tamriel Tome, as it doubles the possible amount you can earn from weekly challenges. Yeah, I guess so. Like if you still have some things you want to get out of the tome after you've unlocked the pages, and you don't have enough tome points, this is kind of useful. You can get more progress out of the challenges, or it allows you to catch up on multiple owned past premium tomes. Yeah, it's kind of a niche application, but I guess this is useful. And they clarify you don't have to take advantage of this double weekly challenge bonus to complete the tome. This is a way, I guess, of them boosting your progress once you get toward the end to make sure you can get everything you want. They're also going to make some UI improvements in Update 50 to the Tamriel Tome system, including the ability to claim all of your completed challenges at once. You can also continue to claim them individually as well. And they're fixing some tooltips. And then in the very end, they admit that because it's a new system, they recognize that some things didn't work out properly, and they hope that our furious wrath is appeased with this information and these changes. I don't know, guys, is your furious wrath appeased? For the most part, I feel like all this is pretty good. I like the fact that they're actually addressing the issues relatively quickly, actually really quickly. I was being kind of cynical in one of my recent videos and kind of said they're probably not going to fix any of this, and I was completely proven wrong. I will eat the crow in this case, as the saying goes. There are actually a bunch of ravens around my house. Maybe I can tear one down and eat it. I don't want to eat a raven though. Those are awesome creatures. But anyway, I do like the fact that they are fixing things. I just don't really like the way they're fixing them. I really don't get why their heels are so dug in on not increasing the amount of tome points we can carry over. So they are making it possible to refund them back into Tome Caches. That's awesome. They are providing some sort of consolation reward in converting the excess ones into gold. But why can't we just take over all the tome points we've earned? Because then we'll get the stuff in the new season too quickly and not have a reason to play. But then why have tome caches at all? You can completely bypass the grind just by buying multiple years of ESO Plus. I don't think anyone would really want to do that because it's expensive, but already the potential is there within the system to completely bypass the grind. So then why are they being so stingy with not allowing us to carry our tome points over? I mean, maybe I'm just missing something. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments the reasoning behind why they're doing this. But yeah, I'm left with a feeling of, thanks for listening. Thanks for fixing things, but why are you guys being so weird about it? Why, instead of really giving a clear, even kind of unpopular justification of your reasoning, did you just give us multiple paragraphs of word salad that don't really explain anything? It just seems like old Zos is still up to its old tricks. In many ways, they're being much more forthcoming, more forthright with the player base, but there was just a bunch of confusing, evasive verbiage in this article that makes me feel kind of uncomfortable. But again, on the positive side, I really am glad they are addressing the issues. I'm very impressed with the speed at which they are addressing the issues. I just wish they were addressing them a little bit better in a slightly clearer way, and I wish they were addressing the issues specifically of tome points carrying over differently. While I do appreciate being able to get tome caches back, I don't really want gold. I want my tome points. So in the comments, let me know how you guys feel about this, whether you think these are good changes, whether they go in the right direction, whether you, like me, were hoping for something a bit more. Let me know how you feel about everything that was covered in this article. Also, let me know how you feel about the way I covered it. Give me any feedback you have. And please don't forget to like the video, hype it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And consider supporting me by becoming a member, picking up some merch, or leaving a donation. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We're going to finish up, as always, with a prayer to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Lord Jesus, thank you for inspiring the developers at Zos to take a more integral approach to addressing the player base and their issues. Lord, I ask that you inspire them further to go the extra mile in making their explanations clear and really providing what the player base actually wants instead of half measures. And Lord, I thank you for my community. Please bless everyone in my community, especially bless those Christian brothers and sisters who are struggling to follow you. Make the path to your side clear of obstruction. And also, Lord, please fold into your loving embrace all those dearly departed souls across the world. Forgive their sins, show them your love. I give you all glory for my channel and for the video today, Lord. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Again, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. And before you go, please make sure to like the video, hype it, and subscribe to the channel. And when you do subscribe, turn on notifications, because I'll be back soon with new content.